So I was told to leave room for question and answers.
Please, I need a resounding round of applause. So on Wednesday, I raised a question that we need steps, right? And Pastor Tosin Ayolowo gave us steps. And today, he has given us further steps that can guide us. He gave us 5 things we need to know and 5 ways we can actually begin to implement. So because of that, I need you to give him another resounding round of applause, because I'm expecting that at the end of today, you cannot go back the same way you came. You cannot just have all this knowledge from this great man of God and then you don't implement. So we have about just 10 minutes for questions. And so if you have a question, just 4 people, the first 4 people to be bold enough to make a move. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Let's come forward.
Please come forward. 4 people, come forward. Quickly, quickly. We have 30 seconds for your coming forward.
Okay.
Okay, so can we go ahead?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Adewale Efunyade. So I want to thank you for, such sound, seminar. It was really powerful. So my question is, because I'm an advocate of, doing things, great things, particularly for your country. I'm a patriot, as you see me. I'm a patriot of this country. I believe Nigeria has...
I was like that. Well, I'm still like that.
Yes.
But when I wanted to say I was like that, I mean to the point of, there was a time I was wearing white and green shirts. I mean, I sold shirts that it was green, white, green.
So I believe,
it's just that one of my friends too,
Yeah.
who believes so much. In fact, he was worse. They call him Mr. Nigeria. He has Japa.
So I believe we have one of the greatest resources for nation building, for Nigeria to be placed at the global stage, which is the people. That's one of the best resources a nation can have, which is the people. That's why we see other countries try to take our people, bring them, because they know the talents that we have as a nation. So my question is concerning productivity. You mentioned, you said every one of us must be doing something. All right, so and you also talked about partnership. And good enough, even the speaker for yesterday video, Pastor Bayo, he mentioned something about partnership, saying that we cannot lead alone. We need ourselves. He was comparing it with how the Muslims, do in their organization, even in a place of work. If they'll be living anywhere, they will want somebody that's also in the Muslim part to, replace them. So my question is, because I also went online and I checked for great products that amazing people that have done. And I realized that, these people, they didn't start alone. There was a partnership before they now stood out. You check Microsoft. Microsoft wasn't started by Bill Gates. Microsoft was started by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. This was a partnership before Bill Gates now took over. Microsoft was one. Apple, Wozniak, and Steve Jobs. It wasn't actually Steve Jobs alone that started Apple. It was himself and Wozniak. Google, that we all use, was started by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. You can check that out. Now, this shows the power of partnership, all right? And I totally agree with you when you said you don't necessarily have to know how to build products. Your own skill may be just being how to market the brand, right? That's why a lot of us here, none of us have to build things. Some of us just need to be able to help the person beside us to market it, and we are together. So my question is, I'm so sorry, what do you look out for in somebody? Because I know partnership is very important. What are the things you look out for, the qualities you look out for in a person that you would love for the person to be your partner as to building great product that can help change the nation? What are the qualities to look out for?
So I can go 2 routes. The first route is to tell you, look out for integrity, look out for somebody who is to be trusted, look out for somebody who is smart and stuff like that. But let me also tell you one thing. When you're looking out for a partner, it's more important to put systems and structures in place than integrity. Integrity is still precedent on emotions or current values without stress. When I say current values without stress, take for example, many of you believe that you have integrity right now. Wait until somebody tempts you with 100 million naira. And the 100 million naira is yours for the taking without any other person hearing about it. And says, sell out your partner to us. Some of you think that sometimes when I preach, I tell people, some of you, the reason you don't sin is because you can't afford your sin. You think that you cannot fornicate or commit adultery. Wait until somebody offers you 100 million naira and you say no. Then you know that yes, you truly cannot do it. But wait until that time. Take for example, you've suffered, nothing is working, you don't have a job, you've been rejected, nothing is working. You are still single at 40, then somebody comes around and offers you 40 million cash. Not go come, not transfer, not I will show you later. Cash, 40. They open Ghana must go like this and show you. When you say no to that, that's when you know you have integrity. So, why am I saying that? I'm saying that to tell you that you can check all the parameters from the beginning, and the person may, check integrity, check, consistency, check, reliability, check. But over time, all of those can change. Even though there are still things you should look out for, what you should now do is to put systems and structures in place. What do I mean by systems and structures? Number one, no matter how friendly the person is, even if he's your biological sister or mother or father, you are entering a business into, or you're becoming partners, have a legal document drawn up. The minimum, have what is called service level agreements. Define how you are going to go your separate ways if anybody changes his mind. Define the role of each person. There should be a contract to define the role of each person, the expectations of each person, what you are bringing on board, what constitutes your contribution to the business. It may not be money. It may be that yours is to bring customers, and that can be valued financially. You may bring customer, the person brings service, both of you get money. So define those roles, then specify in black and white. If this person says, I'm not doing again, what does this person stand to gain? What does he stand to lose? What do you gain if the person walks out? What does he also gain if you walk out? Detailed documentation. That will protect either of you much more than the integrity the person had when the business started. Sometimes people can have integrity until they marry. You get a partner who is not yet married, all of a sudden the person, you know of the popular twins in this country that were doing songs together until they both got married. Twin brothers, split because of women. Come on. So business can be good with your partners until they marry. So the documents, the integrity of the document is that the document is not emotional. And since the document is not emotional, it will save whoever wants to walk away and whoever wants to remain. And that way the business can continue. So the question is, does the person have the skill to do what you want? If the person has the skill, fine. Does the person share in the vision that you are sharing at the moment? Fine. That's good enough to start. However, how do you protect or safeguard yourselves with money and other things? Have a document. Interestingly, one of the videos that you'll find on my YouTube is titled, Put It in Black and White. You must put it in. And these days, artificial intelligence can do some of that. Lawyers will not like this, but at least it can draft something. You see, let me tell you something. Sometimes the documents don't have to be so perfect. Because even lawyers cannot draft a perfect document. If a lawyer drafts a document for you now, get another lawyer to look at the same document. The next lawyer will tell you all the loopholes in that document. And you can use artificial intelligence to also review a document to ask, is it favorable to me or is it favorable to this person? So that's what I would suggest. Rely more on systems and structures and legal instruments. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes. My name is Ebenezer Adewari.
Get the mic closer.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Ebenezer Adewari. I have a few questions because I myself am a digital marketer, but aside being a digital marketer, I'm an e-commerce specialist, so I do everything around e-commerce. So I have a few questions because of a recent development between myself and a company, and that I would like to clarify. So basically, this is business development, joining a company, building it, bringing my skills and their product. So I want to ask, you've outlined most of the things I would like to draw out, like black and white, put it in black and white and the rest. But in a situation where you are not in the country where you are promoting an item, and although you have a way around it to get your legal license to sell and the rest, but you cannot, like, how will I put it? You cannot fully be present, but this other party has full presence there. How do you go in a way that is favorable to you even while you are not physically present in such location? So what are the black and white documents? What are the loopholes in that? That's one question.
Are you talking about physical products that they sell in that country?
Physical product that they
So
sell.
if they have physical products, the question is a very simple thing. But you said it's physical products, but your role is more about promoting the product, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if your role is more about promoting the products, then you cannot tie your results to how many they sell. Don't make that mistake. Do you know why you cannot tie your results to how many products they sell? There's no way you will prove that it was your advertising that sold the product, or that what you did online was what sold the product. They can tell you that they did other local advertisements on radio, on store, maybe they had billboards in their physical locations, maybe they had flyers. So you would not be able to prove, except there's if, for example, you build a store for them, like a digital store, and at the point of checkout, you ask questions like, how did you hear about us? And they now say, oh, we saw the product online. Then you can prove that, oh, it's because of your digital promotion that they saw the product. But it will be a very tough one. So first of all, disconnect your results from the physical product or sales. Draw up a document that simply limits your results to the service you provide for them. Don't let them tie your services to their own results. It's their duty to there's somebody in their company who is a salesperson, who is a sales manager. The number of sales is that person's responsibility, not yours.
Okay.
Thank you for that question, but please, I would implore if you have some time, sir,
Okay.
to discuss with him personally.
Okay.
So that we can manage time. Thank you very much, Ebenezer. A round of applause, please. And thank you. Please, let's make the
Good
questions
afternoon,
pretty
Good
quick.
afternoon.
Thank you so much for that wonderful session. Okay, so my question is on protests. You talked about protests. So I want to ask that, for someone, since protest is a way of communicating one's grievances to the government or something. So, and for a child of God, who also value his or her reputation, who doesn't want to destroy his or her reputation, be it online or something. So, and also a child of God, should he or she be involved in protests? Maybe it could be an online protest or a safe protest. So, should he or she be involved, since it's a way of communicating one's grievances to the government?
As you see me here, I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. When I say I'm a rebel, let me answer you. It's just to let you know that I'm not speaking against protests in person. First of all, I think that we're not being strategic or intelligent about the protests. We're not being strategic, we're not being intelligent about it. You see, people, don't forget that in America, for example, Martin Luther King was a protester. But he got to the table and sat with the president. Martin Luther King, there was another Martin Luther King, maybe a German. Most of these guys, most of the black American priests were protesters. was it John Lewis or so, the the congressman that died recently? These guys were protesters, but they were more strategic about it. It is foolish, for example, you are protesting, the government asks you to come and negotiate. You say, we're not talking to anybody. That's not wisdom. The people you are protesting against says, come and talk. You say, no, you are not talking. It doesn't make sense. So who is going to hear you on the street? One of the things we need to do is to change the strategy. Take, for example, an open letter in all the publications. In Punch, in Vanguard, and all, an open letter to Mr. President is a form of protest. Your Twitter handle is enough to protest.
Even a child of God
Yes.
be involved in that.
But it's about, you don't have to abuse somebody to protest. It's about stating your case strategically. State it in such a way that everybody knows that you are speaking facts. You know, when you raise things that everything you raise, nobody can debunk it. Because you've done your homework, you've done your research, and everything. That's what we're talking about. When you talk, for example, you get a chance, some of the protests that we had, the governor went there to address them. How many of them spoke back to the governor? Or you've forgotten that the governor went there to address them? How many people took microphone and said, now that you've said your own, let us tell you our own? How many people spoke back? So, for us to protest, look for articulate, look for intelligent, look for strategic, look for smart people. One of the things that we also did that worked against us, we wanted to have a faceless protest. I understand that, well, we didn't want a situation where a person will be victimized, or that they will buy somebody over, or somebody will go and backbite us. But look, we can't have a faceless, successful protest. So we need to speak up. I'm not against that. We can do it on social media. But when you are criticizing the government on social media, criticism is not the only way to protest. As you have criticized, you also give feedback. For example, this is what you can do differently. This is how to go about it. This is when you keep criticizing and you're not saying, okay, what do you people want? Tell them, this is what we want. This is what we want you to do for us. Be more specific about it. We can come together and articulate what we want and then go to the governor and say, this is what we want.
Okay, so secondly, I have 3 questions actually.
No, please.
Sorry, please. It's going to be short.
It will be very unfair that Ebenezer asked one question.
Okay, maybe
so yes, please, let's a round of applause for her. And then, okay, so we said 4 people, so we have one more. This is the final question.
Quickly, thank you so much for the time. My question is based on the digital footprint in regards to content. You know, during the course of your delivery, you made mention of the fact that people tend to give engagement to negative posts. No, so my question is in this regard, people that are putting out, if we are frank with ourselves, people that are putting out strategic and educative content, if you look at their engagement, it's terrible, it's quite poor. And also you observe that the same people that are giving those engagement to those negative posts are Christians, if you look very well. So I want to know, is it that the ones that are posting or that are putting out content that has value, is it that it lacks creativity, or is it that it lacks something that makes others not to engage in their content? And most times, what makes people change from their putting value content to putting out those negative content is because it's the fact that when you put out content, you get those little engagement. So it tends to feel, okay, let me go the other route. So is it that it lacks some sense of creativity, or it's just a norm that we just have to deal with?
So the thing about social media, and I can tell you because I've also been there, I've had a YouTube channel since way before, at least I remember I've had a YouTube channel since maybe 2009. How many of you had a YouTube channel in 2009? I've had a YouTube channel since 2009. I started my first blog. I started my first blog in 2007, February of 2007. So I've been blogging since 2007. That's about the same time Linda Ikeji started blogging. I have over 1,700 articles published on my blog. I have 21,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I post an article every Monday morning on LinkedIn. So when you talk about poor engagements, I know what it means. I started publishing books on Amazon since 2016. But how many books have I sold? That's why I mentioned it, that number one, we need to support ourselves. Somebody posts rubbish online. Other Christians will help to repost and share and share and share and share. Your fellow Christian posts something that makes sense. You don't reshare, you don't repost. And the way social media works is that social media thrives on engagement and interactions. So even the post of your pastor that is praying for you, you see it and you scroll past it. But the post of another pastor praying, you will see that one, you click it and comment on that one. But your pastor's post, you don't pray, you don't comment on that one, or you don't share or repost that one. So the post of your church member, the post of your, we know that the post that you are walking past or you are scrolling past, we know that there's nothing wrong with that post. It's just that you have not seen that person become famous. All of a sudden, if something happens and a famous person posts that person and that particular post goes viral, you will now join them to start posting it. So it comes to one thing. Number one, we need to support ourselves. That's the first part of it. Interact with our posts by ourselves. Number two, there is the opportunity to boost your platform. Do you know how much some of those guys are spending on their own posts, interacting with their own posts? Do you know how much some of those guys spend? Let me also give you the local gist behind some of these things going viral. Do you know that I heard that in China, there's something called, I've forgotten the name now, maybe like an engagement bot or something like that. But they can have like 1,000 phones all connected. And all 1,000 phones, they can get them to be watching video of just one YouTube channel. So you will see 1,000 views, but it's not real views. It's somebody, there's something, they call it something, I think they call it engage, maybe something farm, but it's the fact that it could be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 mobile phones all connected, and you can get all of them to be watching the same YouTube channel, the same video. Now, if all those phones are connected to watching your own channel alone for like 7 days, what do you think will happen to your engagement? What will YouTube say? They'll say, what's going on? Your channel is going crazy. Or all of them are watching your TikTok videos. So some of those engagements you see are not even real. They are rigged. And some of them are sponsored. So begin from sponsoring your posts. Sponsor in an ethical way. So that when it gets to the point of monetizing, the platforms don't buy you or don't ban you. So sponsor in an ethical manner. YouTube now allows you to sponsor your videos. Start sponsoring your videos. And don't give up. When I say I've been doing videos, do you know how many videos I've been posting? For example, as I'm sitting here, I have videos scheduled up until December. Not that I'm just about to record them. They have already been recorded. They have already been uploaded on YouTube. 6 a.m. sharp Monday morning, my videos go out. I have videos scheduled all the way to December. I have videos scheduled on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I have articles scheduled on LinkedIn to go out automatically every Monday morning. Have I been discouraged? Has it been sweet? It hasn't been rosy. But there's one thing about content on the internet. If you suddenly become famous, your engagement changes. Suddenly, you just become famous, your engagement changes. So you can work on two things: the engagement or your channels or your personal fame. Or somehow, somebody who is famous just starts talking about you. But be ready to spend money. Until you become famous, the bottom line is be ready to spend money. Do you know that people do PR? What's the difference between Hilda Bassi and all the other guys that went to go and do cooking competition? The difference is PR. And not just PR, properly planned. And you know, the interesting thing is that I'm a PR person. Properly planned PR. I eventually met the lady that managed our PR campaign. So while she was cooking, there were people talking about it. You think that she just accidentally went viral? That wasn't accidental. That was strategic. So you may not have the money right now, but gradually plan for it, build towards it. If you do other things with other famous people, get them to mention you. Get them to mention you. That's one of the ways you can manage your engagement. I know I've not answered all your questions, but I hope the few questions I've answered, I hope I've been satisfactory with them. Thank you very much.
Please, if you know they have been satisfactory, I need a resounding applause. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, for sharing from your wealth of wisdom with us. I would really, really, truly appreciate. So, as we're gradually